What's up guys, Sunny here and welcome back to a brand new video here on my channel. So before I get to this video, I just want to say something really fast, and that's the fact that I am selling limited edition merch. So if you want to grab that, it would mean the world to me. Like I said, they're limited edition, only out for a few days, so be sure to click the link in the top of the description down below. And yeah, this video is all about the crazy stuff that has happened to me in Oslo. Now in short, I go to school in Oslo, and so I spend a lot of time in the central station and also riding the train. And like, because I spend so much time in Oslo, I experience so much weird stuff. Like, I don't know what it's all about. I mean, you guys already know that but I kind of feel like all the attention in the world is dragged towards me just because I'm shy. I don't like having presentations in front of my class. I don't know why, it's just the way I am. So many people have like come to me and said the weirdest stuff, and that's what this video is about. So without further ado, let's get to the video. Okay, so story number one. I was walking from the bus terminal to the central station, and between those two there's a bridge. There's a outside bridge, and like I said, I was walking there and this random man, he stopped me and asked me,
"Hey, do you know where the central station is?"
And I was like,
"Yeah, it's right over there, you know?"
It was like right next to us. And while we were having that short conversation, this other guy came up to this man that just asked me, and he asked him,
"Oh my god, I love your work. Can I have a photo with you? Can I have your autograph?"
And I was like, the fuck is that guy? I was talking to a famous person, no idea who he was, and this random fan came up to him while I was talking to him, and I was like so confused. I was like, who is this guy? Should I know who this is? I'm still to this day wondering who that famous guy was. It was so strange. And also the guy that asked me the direction to the central station, he was so mean to his fan. I was shook because he literally said like,
"No, I ain't got no time for that."
He didn't even say sorry, he was just like mean. As far as I understood, he was some sort of actor or something. I don't know. Moving on to story number two. I'm starting out easy, by the way. I'm saving the weirdest story till the end. The second story is actually kind of funny. So the thing is that I was standing in the central station beneath like the board that shows all the train times and stuff. I stood at the same exact spot for 10 minutes on my phone. I was just standing like this, and then like all of a sudden I literally almost fell. I was like,
What just happened?
and it was this girl that was like walking while texting, and she just literally crashed, and she crashed like so hard. I'm sure my phone literally flew through half of the central station. Okay, that was slightly exaggerated, but I was like so shook. Like whenever I walk and text at the same time, I always like text, look, text, look, text, look. I was standing at the same exact spot for 10 minutes. She just like crashed, and she didn't even say sorry. She was just like, "Oi!" It's just like, oops. The fuck? This leads me over to story number 3, which I believe I have told before in another video. I just briefly want to go through it anyway. So I was on my way from the place where I live to Oslo, and the entire wagon was like all empty and stuff, and this random guy comes and sits down next to me. He was a lot older than me, and he was drunk. He smelled like beer, and I didn't like it at all, because this was like, I don't know how many years ago. It was probably like 4 or 5 years ago. I didn't drink at that time, so it's like, it made me so uncomfortable. He basically started out the conversation by just talking and asking how old I was and whatever, and I was like,
Oh god, I don't like this.
also, I was trying to listen to music, so it was even more annoying. Anyway, he started telling me that he just came out of the closet, which I thought was great. I mean, good for you. He literally told me his life problems. I cannot remember what it was, but I just remember him telling me that like he had just come out to his best friend, which also was a guy, and he had also told him that he had had a crush on him for years. And he asked me like,
"Was that a bad idea? Should I send him a message now?"
a lot of that stuff, and I was like, God, because apparently he was drunk, and then he told his other drunk friend that he had a crush on him. I didn't know what to say. I was like 16 or 17 or something. This random guy on the train just opened up about his entire life to me, and I was standing there, 16-year-old Sunny, like,
What am I supposed to say?
that wasn't bad at all. It was just strange, and I'm talking about strange stuff in this video as well. So this leads me over to the next one, which is the fourth one. I was sitting waiting for my train once again on the central station, and this was like maybe 11 p.m. at night. I had just visited my boyfriend at the time, and this man, maybe in the 40s, he just like sat down next to me and he started flirting. He was like,
"Hey."
and I tried like ignoring him because I don't like when people are drunk next to me, and especially when they're like old and trying hitting on me and stuff. I don't like that. I responded, but I didn't want to talk to him, if you know what I'm saying. So I just like answered yeah, no. And then all of a sudden, this is probably the stupidest thing I've ever done, by the way. We had this conversation going back and forth and he asked me,
Hey, can I have your number?
and I was like, shit. The thing is, I don't want to hurt anybody. And that's like the worst maybe quality that I have. Oh, by the way, while all of this was happening, I texted with my current boyfriend at the time.
Okay, give him my number.
And so what I did was I gave the old man the number to my boyfriend. Actually, the timing was so great because I had to say,
Here's my number. I will have to take my train now. Bye bye.
guess what? The next morning, text message from my boyfriend because the guy had texted my boyfriend something super ridiculously dirty or something, and I was like, ugh. It was so gross. Apparently he had started calling my boyfriend and stuff, and my boyfriend picked up and like literally I don't know how it all ended, to be honest, but it was so hilarious. The lesson there is that I should never say yes to those stupid stuff, but at the same time, like, he kind of deserved it. Like, shouldn't hit on like kids. I think I was under 16. I think I was 14 or 15, so it was really creepy. And he knew because he had asked me how old I was. But anyway, this is the last one, and this is the funniest one in my opinion. Bear with me. I ate a lovely dinner at TGI Fridays. The point is that I had just been on a date, and I was done. I was on my way home taking the train, and this guy stops me. He was young though, maybe like a head shorter than me. Also, I just want to tell you that as well. He had just encountered me and said like,
Hi.
and I was like,
Hi.
I thought maybe it was one of the Sunday Squad members, you know, a little bit optimistic. And he says,
You look good in that jacket.
and I was like,
Well, thank you.
it was actually new, so it made me a little bit happy. Then he goes on to saying,
You look like a person that is into history.
and I was like,
Huh?
if you knew me in real life, you would have known that well, I like history, but I don't like the history we learn at school. So it was a really big mismatch. I didn't know what to respond to that because I think I just smiled and laughed because that's what I do when I'm uncomfortable. So he kept on saying that like multiple times, and the conversation didn't really go anywhere. I felt so uncomfortable because he was awkward as well. Like, I can actually hold normal conversations with people, but it didn't work. The communication was so bad. He just kept on saying,
You look like a person that likes history. You look like a person that's into history.
and so he goes on to asking me in this really awkward conversation,
So do you like coffee or tea?
and I was like,
Yeah?
I think I acted a little bit confused at that point because he asked me such a weird question. I knew what he was hinting at, so I knew I had to think like a plan not to go out because it would never happen. I didn't know the guy. He could have freaking kidnapped me or whatever. So he said,
Do you want to go out for a cup of coffee or tea?
and I was like,
I'm sorry. I kind of have a boyfriend.
I just told him I had a boyfriend. I didn't really have a boyfriend, but I had just been on a date, so it all felt so freaking wrong. And if you ever watch this person, you probably don't, but if you do, I'm sorry about that because it was embarrassing, and I still to this day am a little bit scarred. For some of you guys, this probably isn't a big deal at all, but I just thought to myself that I wanted to make a video on these happenings because I don't know, has anything like this really happened to any of you guys? Because I feel like this stuff always happens to me. I have so many stories that's like this. If you guys want me to do a series on that, I'd love to. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to smash the like button. Also comment down below some weird stuff that has happened to you. By the way, I also have some limited edition merch. They will never be out ever again, so if you want some Sunny merch, be sure to grab that. The link is in the top of the description, and I would absolutely love you forever and ever if you got one shirt. Be sure to follow me on all social medias, and I'll see you guys within a couple of days with a brand new video. Bye!